I'm hitting one of those weird places where you want to carry on this, but then you realize you should probably get the walls covered first. And then you figure out you probably should do the countertop and get that squared away before you start putting all your other pieces in here. So now I'm doing countertops when I'd really like to be doing cabinets. So that was a pain in the butt, but I just got the corroded faucet off. I didn't film it because it didn't seem like it was going to be exciting. It wasn't. But got some pre-cuts done on the new countertop that I'm doing, which is basically a sheet of plywood that I'm going to do a really cool paint treatment on, and then it'll get a resin pour, and that'll be the new countertop. So I'm going to try that and fit it in here and trace underneath and get it all, instead of trying to figure out the trigonometry that this thing is, I just figured out this angle, which was a 26-degree angle, and then I'm just going to trace underneath on all the rest of these. That way it's foolproof. Plus I've learned that no matter how many measurements you take, this place is wonky and it's never probably going to be exact, so it's easier to do it this way. So to make this perfect, I left a little overhang on it because I am going to use a flush router and follow the under counter, and it'll go right to that edge and be perfect. Now I got to take the sink out and get that cut. So more plumbing. Yay. Well, this is super fun. So measuring the corners back here, it is like 35 and an eighth. All the way to the front, it is 34 and a quarter. So it's way off just in the distance that it travels from here to here, which is causing this whole thing to lean forward and dip in the middle because there was never any good supports here. So my plan is to just go with the highest point, which is the 35 and an eighth on both sides. And I'm gonna raise the piece that the counter's gonna sit on. I can't raise this up, but I'm gonna raise the piece that I'm gonna put back here that the counter will sit on up to that same height. And then I'm gonna put a frame all the way across the back wall for that to sit on, and double stack some plywood on there, which is, you know, ply is gonna be my top surface anyway because of the way that I'm gonna make the countertops look. If any of you guys have seen the tables at the Suffering Bastard, they're kind of similar, but I'm gonna go with a different color scheme. So that's what's next. All right, so I let it glue overnight and kept it clamped down. So today we are going to paint it. I gotta play with some colors. You know, I kind of want to go in oranges. Gil had expressed that he likes orange. So I want to do, probably a 2-color variation on here, but I want to find an orange that really looks right. My little test I had done before, I wasn't really a big fan of. So, but first things first is we need to stain the top of it. And guess what we're gonna use? You're right, my old trusty friend, Japan. So we're gonna do the Ronan Japan color raw umber on the surface. And I already have some paletted out, which happens to also be on my failed color that I wasn't a big fan of. Well, let's get started on that. So first we're gonna spray it with some paint thinner or mineral spirits, and then we're gonna stain the top of this thing. So step 1 is done. I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm going to go and play around with some color and find the way I like it on a sample first before I put it on here.
A few moments later.
Well, I've got the whole thing done with the first stage, and we have it here. So a couple things, a couple pointers, I guess I could say. Start sparse. Do little bits here and there, because you can always come in and fill in the blanks afterwards, but you don't want to start doing a total coverage across the piece as you go. So you want to do little bits, and then you kind of step back, take a look at it, and then start filling in the gaps. Another good pointer is take a picture of it. Because a lot of times you see things on your phone that you won't see staring at the piece. And it actually condenses it down to fit the entire piece in your eye. So it's easier to look at and go like, oh, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird. And then you can come through and start to fix it, from that photo. So now I'm gonna let this dry. And then we're gonna come back with a slightly lighter color orange on top of it. And maybe even mix a little bit of this back on top to kind of create a layer. We'll see. But I'm happy. I was a little apprehensive at first with the orange because, I've only done it in like turquoises and blues and stuff. So orange is a different look for my brain to kind of wrap its head around. My brain to wrap its head around? Is that a thing? I don't know. So I was kind of apprehensive at first when I was doing this, and now that I've been staring at it a little longer, I like it. I'm happy with it. So we're good. So coming in the next day, I am really happy with the color of this. It almost looks like lava. And I know that once I get the resin poured on top of this, it's gonna come to life. It always adds so much more depth when you put this kind of a treatment underneath like a high gloss coating. It adds dimension, it adds layers, it'll really look neat. So I'm excited about that. But first I have to put the molding across the front of it. So I already got some pieces cut. I had to figure out my angle, which was pretty simple. It was a 40 degree. So if I set my chops on at 20 degrees, it makes the miter for this. And then I gotta get these and the front piece burned or sanded, then burned, and then installed. And it's gonna look really, really sharp. I'm excited. All right, big moves done today. Got the cabinets all finished out. I'm not doing the side yet because I'm waiting for when I do this, when I skin this wall and I put the shelf in that's going in here, I don't want to have to cut around pieces that I could just go over the skin with and it would look better that way. Anyway, so these are all good to go. They look awesome. Can't wait to start scenicking those. So I still got to do the bottoms of this one and the bottom of this one and skin the top like the countertop over here. And then this thing's going in a couple days, which is awesome because I want it out of my way. I don't know how many times I have to say that. It's my own fault. Anyways, good progress today. I'm pretty happy. It's late. I wanted to get a big chunk of stuff done today. So I got the ceiling beam painted out the first half of the day, the bathroom one and the bedroom one. And then I finished the rest of the day doing the cabinets. And it was a big jump forward. I'm happy. I needed that mentally. Tomorrow I'm gonna clean the heck out of this place because that too is bothering the heck out of me. It's a little too cluttered in here, which is cluttering my brain. I don't like it. So, I'm gonna go home now. Mahalo.
The next day.
So I originally was going to do a resin pour on these countertops, and then I got to thinking that I don't know if it's the right way to go. I'm definitely doing it on the bar top for a number of reasons. I like a good bar top resin on a bar, it looks good, and then also we're going to be putting a lot of like photos underneath the surface. But as far as the kitchen counters go, I think it's a little much. And I just did the bathroom counter using a water-based polyurethane, and I really like the way it looks, and I like the way it came out. So I think I'm going to do that on here too. It's going to be good, and I think that, you know, the resin can scratch, and at least the polyurethane you can reapply. The resin's kind of a pain in the butt to reapply. It's kind of a one-shot deal. So in here, I think I'm going to do a water-based polyurethane clear coat. All right, well that is it for the countertops. They are done, they're beautiful. I'm very happy. I didn't get a video of me putting the edging on. It was just a piece of 1x3 that I did a light burning on, and then it got coated with the same polyurethane. And it came out great. Now, the only thing I really have left to do on here is figure out what I'm gonna do for this back edge. I'm either gonna go with a piece of 1x2, like so, or I might take this and half it and take that quarter round and put it in here. We'll see which one I like better, I don't know. And then in the next video, we also get to sink install. But the countertops are done, and I am very, very happy. So, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Put them in the comments below, or you can send me a private message on Instagram at Typhoon Tommy. I tend to answer everybody. But thank you very much. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out a lot for me. When YouTube sees more followers, they put me more at the forefront. So tell your friends, and we'll see you guys later. Mahalo.